What's going on, everyone? It's Nick with Us Versus Herd here with another video. We're doing a live stream today. We post a new live video, or we post a video at 3:30 p.m. Central every day, or pretty much 30 minutes after market close. If this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button. Definitely would appreciate that. If this video was of value to you, also hit that like button if you can. Definitely appreciate everyone that's here right now. If you're here, say what up. Just want to say what's going on. What's going on, Jeff? Profit Monster, what's up? Cameron, what's going on? Definitely we'll be talking. Cameron says finally, and definitely appreciate all the interaction I get on these live streams. It's mind blowing the things that we got for it. Cameron, what's up? Got off work early. Welcome to the stream, man. Glad that you're here. Ahmed, what's up? Hey Ahmed, thank you so much for all that you do in our options trading group. I definitely appreciate all the commentary and everything that you post in there. You're one of our top contributors. I definitely appreciate you, man. If you're not part of our free options trading group, I actually have the link below. Join it. We post our trades in there. Every day I post what I'm doing and any new trades that I'm doing as well. So we're going to get to it here. I'm actually talking about earnings reports, so trading earnings reports. So people have been trading. I'm actually going to be looking at a couple of different things here. We got Micron, we got Nike. These are recent, and I'm also going to be talking about Facebook earnings as well. I'll be after I get through my little spiel here. I'll also be talking with you guys about the trades I did today and kind of what I was doing and any trade ideas that you guys have after this. Manny, what up? If you're here, say what up. We got some people joining the stream right now. What I wanted to say about earnings is people have a misunderstanding of earnings, I believe, and it doesn't matter if you're buying options or you're selling premium. Earnings is always a gamble. And why do I say that? I'm probably going to get some heat for this because a lot of people trade earnings, and I mean, I trade earnings from time to time, but I don't really like to trade big or gamble on earnings because the report could say anything and the conference call could say anything. Let's say they had a great report, but then on the conference call, like, you know, maybe guidance isn't as good, or maybe the CEO is not very confident on what they're doing next quarter. And you have to understand what people are doing. People are trading or investing for the future, not what happened in the past. So even if they had a good quarter last quarter, don't expect you can't expect next quarter to be amazing. You have to always take each trade at a time and just understand where the market is here. And one thing that I'll look at as in terms of, let's go on to let's zoom in here, Micron here. Micron. So people were saying, let's go to MU. People were saying, what I was understanding, what people were saying, you know, when a stock goes down for a long period of time, it's bound to bounce up. And, you know, last earnings wasn't so good, as you can see that, and they're hitting some new lows here. And ever since last earnings, they haven't been able to recover really. They've just been, you know, ever since they got up here in the 60s, they've just been kind of slowly dropping over the last couple months until this last earnings report. And what people say is like, hey, after a stock's dropped so much money, I mean, this is down like a third. After a stock's dropped so much, there's no way it could keep going down. But you can't think like that. So if you look at Micron here, people were like, oh, the report's good, everything's good, and then the conference call came out and it went from 48 all the way down to 42. And also, what I noticed is that people are trading too big. If you're trading earnings, like, don't be trading 10, 20 contracts. You know, trade one or two, because if this goes against you, and a lot of times it does, like, a lot of times it will go against you depending on you know what the earnings report is, unless it was like, you know, a big blowout. And I'm gonna kind of show you the ways that you can make money, the things that you can lose money. Cameron, what's up? We got a couple Camerons in here. Crypto Van, what's up? If you're here, say what's up. And I'm gonna kind of expose to you the ways that you can lose money. So let's look at actually Nike today, and I'm actually gonna pull up my phone here. And one of the things that kind of inspired this video is I got this notification from Stash app here. I'm actually pulling up my phone here, and Stash app says Nike earnings are expected to be nothing but net, and analysts are bullish. Tap to learn more. more. And if you look here, if you look here, Stash app says Nike earnings are expected to be nothing but net, and analysts are bullish. Tap to learn more. And if you look here, if you look here, Stash app says Nike earnings are expected to be nothing but net, and analysts are bullish. Tap to learn more. And if you look Nike just reported earnings. I don't actually know what the report is, but Nike is currently trading at all-time highs. They just had that crazy controversial marketing campaign. We're at all-time highs here, and we're down. It's down a couple dollars here. Nothing huge, but it did touch $80. Hey Samuel, I'm actually going to be doing it after I do this. I'll be taking. I'll give you my opinion on Square after I do this commentary here on the options trading. So I'll leave your questions to the end here. So one of the things that I get worried about is when people say, especially analysts, they're going to knock this out of the park, or this is going to happen, or this is going to happen. Like at the end of the day, like they don't know. Like don't trust anybody. When it comes to trading, like if you're like, oh, I heard from so and so that Nike is gonna crush it, I'm gonna place a bullish trade, and then it doesn't go that way. You gotta do your own due diligence, and you gotta do that, And what was the expected move? Let's actually look at Nike. So the expected move today on Nike was about $4. So it's currently down $4. So I don't know if it's where it's gonna open tomorrow. Right now it seems to be dropping pretty big, so I don't know if it's gonna break 80 or not. But if it breaks this $81 here, $80, it's actually gonna be greater than the expected move. And the thing is, so where option sellers make money when it stays within the expected move. Option sellers don't make money when it goes beyond the expected move. And that's where you can lose money. So just because you sell option contracts, don't think you can't lose money when trading earnings. Yes, your probability of profit's higher because you're going to get that IV crush. But at the same time, if it goes beyond the expected move, which it has been doing lately, you're not going to make money. The one thing, like if you're buying options, the risk is when you're buying options that if let's say Nike opened tomorrow at 85 or 84. And it had a $4 expected move, all these options you're gonna lose money instantly. So that's the risk when you're buying options. So it's always a coin flip when trading options. I just want to stress that to you. Like when you're trading options, just don't. When you're trading earnings, don't trade big. If you look at Facebook, now Facebook last earnings, it went from like 200, 218. all the way down to 175. They dropped 20%, and people were like, "Oh yeah, we're doing so great. We made a lot of money on puts." I mean, you made it like if you bought puts because I think the expected move was like $6, $8, something like that. If you bought puts on Facebook, you made a killing. But I guarantee you, the people that made the gains from that then rolled those profits into other riskier trades, and then I guarantee a lot of those people lost a lot of their profit that they made on this drop here. So just because you won big once doesn't mean you're going to strike it again. So that's why it's kind of the gamble. And the people are going to say, I guarantee a lot of people that made a lot of money on Facebook last earnings, when it comes around this earnings report, they're gonna put a lot of money in there because they think they're going to make a lot. And they could, maybe they will, but I don't like to trade on maybe. I like to trade on certainty. And at the end of the day, like when you're putting up money in your account, you always have to say to yourself, okay, if this trade goes bad, will I be able to trade tomorrow? Will I be able to put another trade on? If the answer is no, I mean, you're using way too much risk and it's gambling at that point. So, I just wanted to get that point across, and that's kind of my brief explanation on, options trading earnings. So, definitely, there's a lot of people here. I definitely want to get to know what you guys did today. I put some. If you have questions, I'll get to Square. I put a trade on Alibaba. If you're part of our options trading group, if not, I did post all of my trades in there today. I put a trade on Alibaba. I also put a trade on Microsoft. I also put a trade on Tesla. Tesla was looking. I actually bought in here when it was kind of leveling out, 299. I put a vertical put spread at 300, and it then dropped, but kind of recovered. So that's looking good. I'm actually down $2 on the day. I put some trades on. So I actually didn't have any trades on because I cleared the decks on Friday. Alibaba, I put a strangle on, and looks like we're still mid-range. At close, what was I up? Was I up money? Alibaba was down 7 at close. So Alibaba's got a little bit to go. And then Microsoft, I put a strangle on because it's been really struggling here. I think it could probably go 113 or below, but we'll see. Just says Nike shares fall despite earnings beat and 15% profit growth. So must be something going on. Must be guidance. So Square. So actually, Samuel, Square is off the chain. I know that they just announced something called Square Payroll. So if anybody here owes companies, they know that payroll is a big ordeal for companies, and I think that's why we kind of went there. But it was pretty crazy. It went from 81 to 95 in 2 days. Monday. I actually didn't trade yesterday. I wish I did. I'm actually a Square stockholder. My average is $33 a share right now. And the one thing that I've been not doing, I haven't been able to time Square correctly because you'll have these, if you look, you'll have these like flat days. Like we have a couple flat days, and then you have ripping days. So you just kind of have to. What I understand about Square is you really have to accumulate on the slow days, and then wait for the rip. And sometimes it's a week, sometimes it's a month. I've made a lot of money on Square options, but recently I've been having a hard time timing it, so I haven't been trading it. Also, Square Premium is pretty rich right now for a $95 stock and expiring in 3 days. I mean, $200 for puts. I mean, $200 for calls. It's rich, so you gotta be right. You have to move. It's got to move right now, and it did today. I mean, it moved $9, 10% today. It moved today, but if you didn't have a position on before today, it's going to be really hard making money. You got to wait for some of those option premiums to come down. Unless you're trying to sell some premium, you can definitely get a good deal here and wait for that IV crush to come in. Yeah, IV perked up a little bit today, so you're not gonna get the best deal on options today. You'd already have to have a position on. Brian, what up? Qualton said he got an out of the money call on EOD. Not sure what EOD is. Let's take a look. EOD, Wells Fargo. Yeah, I don't. Oh, Wells Fargo, what is this? Auto. Just a certain fund. Can't tell. Oh, Advantage funds. Does this thing trade on the options? It's got no. Did you mean EOD? I don't. Qualton. I don't. It says that EOD has no options, so I don't know how that. I don't know how you got an out of the money call. Oh, Nike. Oh, you're saying you got an out of the money call end of day. I'm sorry. Well, I think on Nike you're gonna be, if it doesn't bounce back tomorrow. Luckily tomorrow's not Friday, so you got a couple days if you bought weeklies. Crypto Vin, he bought Crypto Vin. Where was that? He bought Facebook and Apple. So Facebook, I actually had on my list this morning. If anyone was in our options trading group, I was actually thinking about putting a position on. But by the time I got around to it, it was already up here. So I just said, I missed my entry. Just forget it. I was actually waiting for it. I was hoping it would level out around here, which it was starting to, but then it just ripped. I was hoping it leveled out here so we get some premiums a little bit lower, and then it just ripped. And then, yeah, I regret not taking that trade today. So Crypto Vin, I hope you made some money. Hope you made some money on that trade. Apple, what did Apple do? Today was kind of a weird day because the S&P was just really flat today. Apple's up pretty nice spike there. Man, Apple's just killing it over the last few months here. Apple, oops, yeah, Apple's just crushing it. I know some people that bought the dip down in here in the 160s, and now they're holding pretty fat. Oliver did a leap at the money SLV strangle, betting on an increase in IV in Vegas sometime in the future. I agree. I think that what was the VIX at? VIX at 12. Yeah, I mean we're sitting here and we're due for some volatility, I think. But you can't assume that's going to happen. So I don't assume that's going to happen. Just because you're due, we waited all of 2017 for some volatility and never got it. VIX was down in the single digits. Look at that, 8. Oh, you can't see that. Sorry. Look, I'll show you. VIX was down to 8 last year. I mean, it's bad. So, I mean, if you can hold, you can hold, but if you can't, you can't. So, let's see here. Ahmed bought some Twitter 30 calls expiring this week. Yeah, I Hamid, I had 30 calls last week. I actually have 32 calls for this week. I had 30 calls for last week, and what was happening to Twitter last week is just terrible. It hit the wall. It hit this wall up here, 30 a couple times. 1, 2, 3, and then just dropped ever since it hit the wall at 30. It hit there 3 times, triple topped, and then we are now. But hopefully we see some increase here in the next couple of days. Definitely, Twitter is definitely due for a pop. If you have never traded Twitter, you can kind of see that it accumulates for a long time, and then we get the pop. But it looks, however, this looks a little dangerous here. This descending pattern here. If it can't get over 30, I don't know. I mean, we're going to go to mid-20s for sure. Cameron, Iron Condor on SPY. Let's see, is premium and SPY pretty good these days? Did we get, with volatility so low, it's been tough. 928, hopefully some gains, not afraid to close Thursday. Cameron shooting for 50%. Yeah, SPY is a bit of a gamble because of the trade tensions and stuff that's going on. Putting on a trade when IV is kind of on the lower end, kind of it's on its butt here. It's on the lower end. It's gonna be tough for those condors. SLV is dirt cheap. I don't know. Let's see here. Yeah, this actually looks pretty good, but you can see IV popping up here. This actually looks like some nice consolidation down here, and looks like maybe a reversal. Let's see here. SLV. I mean, they got weekly options. The weekly's not that liquid. I mean, it looks like a couple strikes here are liquid, like the 14 calls. There's 1,000 traded here, and then not until like the 17. There's 0 traded a day on the 15s and 16s. Pretty cheap. So if you get some, you got a 18-cent pop today. These increased. So I don't know. It looks kind of risky for me personally, just because there's not that many being traded right now. If you look at the monthlies there's some more. There's actually some more traded on the monthlies here. So the monthlies, maybe if you're gonna put a trade on here, you'd want to do the monthly expirations here. So November. Yeah, it looks like some are traded on the monthlies. So if you were to put a trade on this, it would probably be on the monthlies. So if you're here watching this right now, if you guys got any questions or ideas, say what's up. Get a question. Yeah, Apple's fire. I agree. Cameron. Oliver says SLV, that was his last. That was my leap strangle play. Nice. But I mean, overall today it was kind of weird. What was the? I got a notification from CNBC. What was it? Dow falls, erasing earlier gains after trade talks from Trump. And if you look at your notifications, if you guys are out getting CNBC notifications this morning, they're like Dow's up 100 points. And if you look at the Dow today, it was up big pre-market, and then just things are just fell apart. I mean, this is just crazy. You don't know which way right now. I honestly don't. I don't think anyone knows which way the market wants to go right now. I mean, we've been climbing high. Yes, we've been climbing higher. Nasdaq dropped a lot, and then actually closed green, and then S&Ps were just flat all day. I mean, it lost pretty much all its pre-market gains, and then just went back to flat. So lost anything that was pre-market after hours, and just kind of weird momentum. We've been closing with like mixed indices over the last few weeks, just like some are red, some are green, just really mixed signals. And Nasdaq actually was ripping for a long time, and then it was going red, and then S&P and Dow were going green, and Nasdaq was red. So it's very mixed signals right now in the market where we're going to go. What do you see with AMD? Had to get out, put spread. So AMD, I was actually looking at a trade in there, and today, like, people were buying calls, and I was hesitant to buy calls because if you look at the the chart here, I mean, it's just been kind of declining all day and actually closed red. I mean, we closed at 32.57. It's down 10 cents after hours. Not a big deal, but I mean, it just sold off all day, and I don't really feel like this is a good place for me to be catching some calls here, honestly, or going long on AMD, because we're sitting up here. You know, I'd like to see closer down to 30 here. It looks like I was talking about on Friday, it looks like we're getting some consolidation here, and as you can see, volatility is decreasing because we're getting the stock price isn't going anywhere, so we're getting the IV is decreasing here, which is good. So you're going to get some cheaper options. But if the stock doesn't go anywhere, so you're going to have to start buying like longer out. So instead of buying for this week, maybe buy for 10, 15 days out, or buy for 20 days out, because this could stay this range for a while, like between 34 and 30 or 34 and 32. It can kind of just bounce back until the range gets so tight that it chooses either a bearish or bullish direction. So I'm just kind of waiting and seeing if IV will go a little bit lower, see if I can get some stuff for cheaper. Because if it stays the same price, you know, Theta's just going to eat that, and then the IV will keep dropping. You're going to be losing some money there. Is kind of what I'm looking at for AMD. New S&P sector set to debut Friday. Excited about that. What I was saying about the tech sector, the new tech sector. If you look at like Apple and Microsoft, and they're weighing these heavier in the S&Ps. And what I was saying last week, I think it was, when the news came out that this was going to happen. What I was saying is it's an interesting time that they're doing this when Apple and Microsoft is at all-time highs and things are at all-time highs, especially these tech companies. So they created this new sector, and what I was saying is if there's a downturn with like Apple and Microsoft and stuff, you know, being at all-time highs, you know, the risk for a downturn is pretty high. Not saying it will happen, but the risk is greater for when it's not. And right now, Apple with these if these go back, you know, retreat from 222 back down to 170 or 190 or 180, whatever the case is, you know, if it reaches gains, you know, I think it's definitely going to hurt. But I think the weight is definitely going to be very interesting to see how that plays out, especially with how they're weighing Apple and Microsoft and stuff like that. Hamed says, my NVIDIA debit spread calls are going up nicely. I haven't actually traded NVIDIA in a long time. Anyone here trading NVIDIA? Yeah, I mean, this is nice two-sided action. Looks like we're starting to make some bullish direction here. It looks like it's starting to try to see if it wants to climb its way back up here to all-time highs. You know, it looked like it lowered out here in the 230s. Had some nice rip at 285, looking like get some consolidation here. So, you know, NVIDIA is like another one of those like sleepers. So, you know, I don't think that it's a good idea to catch the bottom until it kind of levels out. So, like back down here, buying this was probably dangerous. Wait for it to level out and then go. You know, buying this this is pretty risky back in here. But obviously, a lot of stocks are risky back in the January and February, and then, you know, really hasn't gone anywhere. If you bought in February or January, really hasn't gone anywhere all year until just recently. Up until a couple of weeks ago, we're starting to get some nice forward bullish action here. So NVIDIA is definitely one to keep a watch on. I'm not sure what I'll do on it or if I'll trade it, but if it breaks out here, we're gonna have some good times on that. Cameron, what does the phrase trading premium mean? So Cameron, trading premium, it means that it's the option price. So let's pick a better example here. You know, Apple. So premium is the price that you pay for the option contract here. So right now it's $1.71. So because one contract equals 100 shares, you times $1.71 times 100. So this is actually $171 for this 222.50 call on Apple. So that's a premium. So you could buy premium, and that's what this is, or you could short premium, and that's what I was talking about. So it's easier to say when you're buying premium or shorting premium to tell what strategy people are using. Are you shorting premium, or are you buying it? So are you a contract buyer or a contract seller? Basically, what signs? Cameron says, what signs do you personally do to determine when to go on a trade? So for me, let's say for like Alibaba right now, I've been trading a lot pretty successfully. What I like about Alibaba, so is the two-sided action. So I've been doing some nice strangles on here because as you can see the past couple weeks, I mean we've been either gapping up large or gapping down large. So I've been looking at some of those things, and I really rely on the 52-week high and the 52-week low, and also I rely on like consolidation periods where I put trades on or take trades off. For Tesla, I actually talked about yesterday. Tesla, one of the things I look here for like is either bullish or bearish momentum, and as you can see here, this looks very bullish to me in terms of the momentum that we're having on Tesla. So that's why I put a vertical put spread on this 300 area here. Iron Condor and AMD. One thing I would be concerned about going back to AMD is, I mean, it seems like a good idea if it was, but if it does accumulate and let's say tomorrow it rips up or rips down, it's gonna be a lot. Like this could easily, there's no support anywhere in here. This could easily go back to 20. I mean, I don't know if it will. I'm not sure if it will, but there's no support. Maybe it's building support here in the 30s, and it'll increase up. But if something happens, this could easily just go to 20 like nothing. There's no support here. Maybe like a couple days of support back in here in the 24s. But I mean, it's looking rough. If this thing goes bad, it's gonna go real bad. So I personally wouldn't put a strangle. I mean, obviously that's my own opinion, and do what you want, but that's kind of how I see this trade. So Oliver says XRT monthly strangle prepping for FOMC statement post rate hike tomorrow should cause panic in interest rate sensitive sectors. So I actually got after that one. Give me some water here. XRT, yeah. I mean, I agree with what you're saying. I definitely don't. I don't like to trade. So if you guys want to know something about me, I don't like to trade political news. I don't like to trade like FDA approvals. I don't like to trade. And like kind of what this video is about is like gambling. So earnings report. So I don't like to like gamble my money. And if like let's say like for the election, when we go back to the election, like premiums were pretty crazy. Or let's say if you go to Brexit, just speculation. I like to know which direction we're going before placing a trade. And if I don't know what direction we're going to be going, I like to do strangles, but I have to get good pricing on the option. I don't just place strangles wherever I see fit, because you could really get screwed that way. You could lose on both the call and the put pretty easily. Cameron says, do you personally recommend doing vertical options opposed to a single? How far in the money options are you typically going? So the different plays, like today I bought a strangle on Alibaba, and the reason why I bought an Alibaba strangle is because, like I was saying, the action would be gapping up or gapping down pretty large. And also IV is not that high. I sold a vertical put spread on Tesla because IV was like 78 when I put it on. It actually came down a little bit today. IV was like 78, and I don't know how long it's going to take to get to where we want to go. So when I short premium, like so a vertical put spread, I actually wanted to take a longer time to get there. So if I don't know when, let's say Tesla looks like it's moving a little bit slow here to get above 300. I have I sold the 302.50 call. I'm sorry, put. Let's go to Tesla so I can kind of show you my position here. So I sold. Not for this week, so I didn't do it for this week. I did it for next week because I wanted some more time. I sold the 302.50 call put this morning, and I bought the 300 put, the 300 strike put to put on this vertical put spread this morning for $1.20. I posted this in the options trading group for $1.20. My risk on this is my max loss is $1.30, so low risk trade. I do think in 10 days we'll be above 302.50 if it kind of keep up this bullish momentum here. I just didn't know how long it would take. My target's 310, 315 area on this. Do you think RSI is a good study to use a chart analysis? So I don't typically use RSI, like I said, I mostly rely on consolidation periods, 52-week live, 52-week low, and I occasionally use the moving average if I need some more clarity. But I typically don't use RSI. I've said this before that I see a lot of people using all these technical indicators, and a lot of times, like, it really clouds your judgment on what you think is a good thing that's going to happen, because a lot of times those indicators are chasing what the stock is doing, and it's not necessarily. You may use them to balance some ideas, but don't let it be the deciding factor of whether or not you place a trade. Like, the RSI indicators could indicate a buy, but then a news article that you know is coming out maybe we'll say otherwise, So there's a lot of factors other than those indicators that to make a good decision in a stock. Brian, what would you consider good pricing on those strangles? So for BABA, I don't know if you've been catching the trend. So I've been posting all my trades. I don't know if you guys are in our options trading group, but I've been posting those trades in there. On BABA, I don't like to risk. Let's see what I put that trade on. So I did it for $1.29, and I've been typically selling them for around $2 to $2.50. So I like to put it on for I try to get to as close to $1 as possible. But obviously you have to account for the range, like how far out of the money you're looking to go, and it has to be able to make sense. And the reason why Alibaba's been making money on these strangles is because the expected moves have only been $3, and it's been moving, $10, $15 here at a time, either direction. That's why it's working. Now, why the options pricing isn't figuring this out or accounting for this, I actually don't know. So that's why it's good to understand good option pricing, and also it's good to understand expected moves and when a stock will go beyond the expected move. So I like to be on the strangles like as close to $1 as possible. Usually I paid $1.50. $1.50 is probably a bit risky for me. I'll try to be like that one's $1.29. I try to be $1.15, somewhere around there. Also depends on how close you are to expiration, what IB is, and if you're gonna get a good deal. Let's see here. King Jacob, what's going on? You said maybe an interesting future video would be different option strategies and when to use them. Definitely, we'll keep that in mind. Definitely, we'll play with that. I've been working on a lot of content here. Actually, before this video, I actually recorded a video for a Tastyworks review. I've just been grinding here. A strangle is buying two different strike prices with the same expiration date. So if you look at, let's go to my BABA trade. If you want to know what a strangle is. Strangle. So I bought a put on one side, and then I bought a call for the other side, same expiration, and then the goal for a strangle is it to go below or above. So I want it to be above my call or go below my put. I don't want both, and I definitely don't want it to end up in the middle. In the middle, you're gonna lose money in the middle. I actually wish I could show you on Tastyworks, but I don't want to post it. I don't want to use Tastyworks because it actually displays my username in there, and my accounts, my Robinhood account actually got hacked a couple months ago. So I don't know if that came from the video or not, but I'm kind of being cautious with the information that I put on into these videos. So somewhere someone thought that I was a target. Qualton, how do you determine if IV is too high for any particular stock? So what I like to do is you use IV indicator. So above 50, if IV is above 50, I like to sell options. If IV is below 50, I like to buy options. And I did a video on this before a couple weeks ago where my strategy, I like to buy options. I also like to short options. A lot of people say I only short options. I will never buy them. I'll never buy a premium buyer. But different markets, different circumstances call for different things. Like you can't just say you're going to do one thing all the time and hope it works out. That's not how the market works. You got to constantly adjust. You got to constantly adjust your strategy, and that's kind of what I lean to. Yeah. Qualton, yeah, better safe than sorry. So yeah, hopefully Tastyworks removes the username out of the. So if you guys are using Tastyworks, up in the top bar here, it displays your username that you use to log it into your account. So it'll say so and so is trading on Tastyworks up in the top here, and I really hope that they remove that that feature, because even if you have privacy mode on, it actually still, even if you have privacy mode on, it still displays your username, which is, I think, terrible. Especially, I mean, it's not bad, but if you're in privacy mode, it should at least remove that. Let's say you're somewhere public, you don't want someone to see that. You know, not everyone's making videos like I'm making, but if you're in a public place, you may not want your username to display there. Like if you're in a coffee shop or, you know, a library or a hotel or somewhere public, you don't want your information displayed anywhere, because it's actually, it doesn't just display your name, it actually displays the username that you use to log into your account. So definitely a security risk. And also, Tastyworks doesn't allow for two-factor authentication. Luckily, Robinhood allows me to have two-factor authentication, so I have it hooked up two-factor authentication. So now even if they get my password, they can't log in. Cameron, I think I did answer your RSI question already. I mean, you can use the balanced ideas, but you can't use that as your only source of whether or not you should put a trade on. I think I covered that. So anyone have any last questions? Getting off here in just a couple minutes. We're almost at 40 minutes, so I try not to make these streams too long, because the people that watch these afterwards, I don't want them to be like a 4-hour video, you know, even if you guys are asking questions. So if you guys have any more last questions before I sign off, we got a couple more minutes here. I'm a couple seconds ahead of you guys because of the lapse here. So yeah, if you guys don't have any more questions, looks like Nike actually is going low here. Crypto Slice, do you hold stocks for dividends? Yes, I do. I actually have Target. I'm holding Target on some of my accounts here. Apple, but I only hold stocks. I don't hold it for the dividends, if that makes sense. I hold it to make money on the stocks, and the dividends are just a nice little bonus. It's nice to get the dividends. It's nice to know, like, every quarter, like, I get a little notification, like, you know, Target paid you X amount of dollars in dividends. It's like kind of nice little bonus, you know, and it's kind of like you're just getting free money. And if you believe in the stock now, if for some reason Target goes against me and I don't want to hold it anymore, I just don't believe in where the company's going anymore, I'm going to sell that stock. I'm not going to hold it for the dividends, you know. I'm not Warren Buffett where I can make billions of dollars on dividends by holding, you know. So, yeah, definitely. We're at 36 minutes. Things. I mean, yeah, these streams go fast, and I definitely appreciate you. If you guys can hit a thumbs up on this video, it really helps me out a lot. We're actually closing in on 3,000 subscribers, and I really can't believe that there's that many people actually subscribing to this channel. I mean, it's just mind-boggling. And our option trading group is really growing. I'm actually working on a lot of things. We're going to do a Discord channel, a Discord server. We're going to do a couple things here. Qualton, our view on Ford. So Ford is not a growth stock. I'll repeat that. Ford is not a growth stock. So what I mean by that, if you go to the 5 years, if you go back 5 years, it has not rewarded investors by holding. If you bought Ford 5 years ago, you were actually poorer than you are than you would be today if you were held that stock 5 years ago till to now. And really, it's been circling. Unless you're making money on these dividends, like we were talking about earlier. If you had a lot of stock a bit, I don't think it's not gonna even out your losses from holding from $18.09, and it took you since 2012 to get down to 9. So you lost 50% in 5 years. So I don't like it. I like to invest. I like to trade growth stocks such as, you know, Amazon, Apple, Alibaba. As you can see here, my list here is mostly growth stocks and companies that are growing. A lot of them, and unfortunately, a lot of the growth that we see today in the market is from tech stocks. So that's just where we are. I mean, I'm sure Ford was a great company back in the 50s and 60s, and it was just, you know, people were getting rich. But right now we have Amazon, and I don't know, Tesla's a little sketchy, but it's fun to trade. You know, I sold my Tesla shares, but you know, Apple, Google, those are the big boys we have now. So that's what we're trading is in terms of growth stocks is you know, the tech sector is where the new growth is. You know, It's like, should I invest in Coca-Cola? You know, probably not. So that's just my personal opinion, preference. I mean, you can do what you want. Obviously, if you catch in the last year, if you can catch, you know, went from 13. You know, if you probably could have made money on the short side here. This was a rough earnings about 3 quarters ago. You know, but now it's single digits, and you know, if you're looking at Sears and JCPenney, and I'm not comparing Ford to those because they're definitely in better shape, but you know, they're in trouble. You know, Sears is in trouble. And at one time it was $100 a share, and now it's a couple. Let's see here, 5 years ago. Let's go to 5 years. Yeah, 5 years ago, $67. Now $1. So, you know, it depends on what you want to do. I mean, I'm not trading anything. I don't typically like to trade anything that's single digit. So, I have a better track record when I'm trading stocks that are $20 and above. So, I'm gonna hop on the stream. We're at 40 minutes. I definitely appreciate everyone that's here, everyone that's watching. You know, there's quite a people on here. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you so much for watching this video. If this is your first time here, hit the subscribe button. We post videos every day at 3:30 or 30 minutes after market close. You guys all have a great day. Thank you so much.